The lottery, that symbol of instant life-changing wealth that captures the imagination of millions, is not merely a game of chance, as the world would have you believe. It is a perfect metaphor for the abundance that already exists in the invisible realm, waiting to be claimed by those who understand the divine laws of manifestation. Today, you will discover how to win the lottery. Not occasionally, not sometimes, but every time you engage with life's infinite possibilities. This is not about statistical probability or random luck. This is about aligning yourself with the perfect law that governs all creation. The law that guarantees your good must come to you when you align with it completely. Many will dismiss these words as fantasy or wishful thinking. Let them. The truth of divine abundance has never been for the masses, but for those select individuals who are ready to transcend limitation and claim their rightful inheritance of prosperity. You are one of these individuals. You would not be drawn to this message if you were not. The principles you are about to discover have transformed ordinary lives into extraordinary testimonies of abundance throughout history. These are not new ideas. They are ancient wisdom expressed in modern language for your benefit today. They are the same principles that have enabled seemingly miraculous manifestations of wealth, health, and happiness for those who applied them with unwavering faith. As you absorb these words, something profound is already happening within you. Old patterns of lack consciousness are dissolving. Limiting beliefs about money and prosperity are being uprooted. A new consciousness of abundance is taking root in the fertile soil of your mind. This transformation is not just possible, it is inevitable when you align yourself with divine law. The journey we are embarking on together is not merely about winning a lottery drawing. Although that may indeed be part of your experience, it is about winning the greater lottery of life, about claiming the abundance that is already yours by divine right, about stepping into the flow of infinite prosperity that never ceases to flow. Before you can win anything, numbers on a ticket or the larger game of a prosperous life, you accept a simple truth. Abundance is your birthright. The universe is not short of good. It is a vast storehouse, always full, ready to answer anyone who understands how it works. The old words still say it clearly. Ask and you receive. Seek and you find. Knock and the door opens. There is no shortage in the divine. There is supply without limit, waiting for your clear recognition and your yes. The real issue is not that good is missing. The issue is the training you have picked up, habits of thinking that expect not enough, that treat lack as normal, that call scarcity realistic. That training builds an inner wall between you and what already belongs to you. When you remove the wall, the flow that has always been there becomes visible. Think for a moment about the power that spins galaxies, keeps seasons in order, and runs nature with exact timing. That same power is not far away. It is present within you and around you, ready to express as money, health, openings, and quiet joy. Would a wise power design you for struggle and shortage? Number. You were made to live fully, to participate in abundance, to prosper in your work, your relationships, and your daily needs. This is not wishful talk. It is how the law works. When you are aligned with that law, your good comes. It has to. The lottery that fascinates so many is one possible channel for this flow, but it is not the source. The source is the law itself, precise, dependable, like mathematics. When your inner state is right, the outer result answers it. The shift begins when you stop seeing yourself as separate from supply and start knowing you are one with it. Abundance is not a visitor. It is your normal state, your inheritance by right order. Say this out loud with a steady voice. Infinite abundance is my divine right. I open to receive prosperity through every channel, seen and unseen. My good comes to me freely and joyfully, under grace and in perfect ways. Let the words land, not just in your mind, but in your body. These are not empty phrases. They are clear statements of truth that tune you to the law of supply. When you speak and feel them, your inner pattern changes. The old barrier softens. The path clears. The world will keep insisting that wealth is scarce, that only a few get ahead, that your chances are slim. The world talks about odds. Divine law is not bound by odds. Under divine law, supply is unlimited. Under divine law, prosperity flows to the consciousness that matches it. Under divine law, winning, whether money, an opening, or a needed solution, is the natural outcome of alignment with truth. This is the first principle of winning the lottery every time. Without wobble, that abundance is already yours by divine right. Not as a someday dream, but as a now reality in the invisible, waiting for your recognition. When you accept this, you stand on solid ground. From here, everything else becomes simple. You learn how to hold the picture, how to feel it real, how to speak the word that seals it, and how to let timing deliver it. In the world of spirit, nothing is random. Every result has a pattern behind it. There is a blueprint for your prosperity, already complete on the unseen side. Your task is not to make abundance from nothing. It already exists. Your task is to come into agreement with the right pattern for you. This is not guesswork and not luck. It is alignment, as exact as numbers adding up. Your imagination is the doorway to that pattern. Imagination is not a daydream that fades. It is the tool that links you to pure potential. As a person thinks in the heart, so the life becomes. When you can see yourself as already supplied, when you feel that picture as true, you fit the pattern that calls the form into place. You are not begging the universe. You are accepting what is yours in order. Let this short decree anchor the shift. The pattern of my prosperity stands complete in divine mind. I agree with it now. What I accept inwardly appears outwardly with precision. Speak it calmly. Feel the relief of order replacing strain. This is not self-hypnosis. It is cooperation with law. When you approach even a lottery ticket from this state, no clutching, no fear, only quiet certainty. You change the nature of the act. For most, it is gambling. For you, it becomes demonstration. People might call it luck. You will know it as alignment. Hold also this clear reminder. The ticket is only a channel. Your source is never a slip of paper, a paycheck, a client, a relative, or a system. Your source is divine law. Channels change. Source does not. When you remember that, you stop chasing forms and start standing in supply. The chase ends. The receiving begins. You may notice as you read that your body relaxes. Tightness around money loosens. Thoughts that used to say, "It's hard," go quiet. That is the sign the inner wall is coming down. Welcome it. You are learning the natural language of abundance. Simple faith, clear picture, spoken word, steady gratitude. These are the basic moves, and they are enough. So we start where Florence always starts, with identity and order. Who are you? Not a beggar at the door of life, but a rightful heir. What governs your good? Not chance, but law. What is required of you? Agreement. When you agree with truth, the rest organizes itself. Keep the hook close to your heart as we continue. You are not trying to force life. You are letting life's order carry you. From this foundation, we will move to the next piece: how to hold a picture so clearly that reality has no option but to echo it. In the realm of divine law, nothing is random. Every outcome begins with an invisible order, a right pattern, a finished blueprint that precedes the result you see. This includes money that shows up, chances that open, and yes, even a lottery win. Some call this the fourth dimension, the unseen layer where ideas live before they become things. You don't have to master any complex theory to use it. You only need to know this. Before something appears, it is already complete on the inside. Your role is not to squeeze abundance out of the world. Your role is to match the inner pattern that already belongs to you. That matching does not happen through force or worry. It happens through imagination. Imagination is not a toy for daydreaming. It is the bridge to the finished blueprint. It is how you step into the picture of your good while it is still invisible, and how the visible world learns what to deliver. As a person thinks and feels at the core, life follows that inner picture. When you can see yourself supplied and can feel it as true, you lock onto the pattern that brings it into form. The law is simple. Hold the cause within, and the effect arranges itself without. There is a reason Scripture says that faith gives substance to what you hope for and provides proof of realities not yet seen. Faith is not a tense push. Faith is the quiet certainty that the pattern is real now, and that the result must follow. Imagination supplies the clear image. Feeling warms it. Faith holds it steady long enough for form to answer. A living example makes this practical. In 2007, Cynthia Stafford won a lottery jackpot of $112 million. The striking part is not only the win itself, but the way she prepared. She did not picture a lot of money. She repeatedly imagined that exact amount, $112 million. She did not do this once on a good day and then forget it. She made it a regular practice. She rehearsed how it would feel to receive the check, to experience the relief and freedom, to live inside the calm after the breakthrough. She let the picture become stronger than its absence. When the result arrived, down to the very amount, people called it a miracle. Through the lens of law, it was a match. The inner pattern had been made specific and felt as real, so the outer event had clear instructions. That is how imagination serves you. It does not wish, it designs, it sets coordinates. If you want to apply this principle to any goal, including a lottery prize, you make the image detailed and alive. You let your senses help you. You see the scene, hear the words, feel the weight of the moment, notice the breath in your chest, the texture of the paper, the quiet amazement that gives way to simple gratitude. You allow the picture to become more convincing than doubt. This is alignment. This is cooperation with order. You do not strain to make images. You allow them and you remain with them without argument. The mind that likes to calculate odds will try to interrupt and say, "This is unrealistic." Thank it for its care and return to your scene. The scene is not fantasy if it expresses your divine right to be supplied. It is practice, like a musician running scales so that performance becomes natural. At first it feels like pretending, then it feels normal. And when it feels normal, the world mirrors what you have normalized within. Let these words steady your focus. The pattern of my prosperity is complete in divine mind. I agree with it now. Through my imagination, I step into what is already mine, and life answers with precision. Speak them slowly. Sense the ground under your feet as you say them. You are not trying to convince a reluctant universe. You are accepting what is yours in right order, and that acceptance is what opens channels. If you choose to buy a ticket, you approach it from this settled place. You are not pleading with paper. You are taking a simple action that corresponds to a reality you have already accepted inside. The same is true for any other channel: an interview, a client call, a sale, a gift. The form is a delivery vehicle. The source is the law. When you remember this, you stop grabbing at forms and you start standing in supply. People may shake their heads and call it luck. Those who understand call it alignment. Make your imagining practical. Choose a quiet moment each day. Close your eyes, breathe, and step into the finished scene. Keep it short and vivid. Let gratitude rise as if the thing has already occurred, because in the invisible order, it has. If doubt appears, do not fight it. Let it pass like a cloud and return to the picture. You are building an inner habit. You are training your nervous system to feel provided for as the baseline. When the body learns this ease, the mind stops arguing and the outer world stops resisting. This is why, as within, so without, remains reliable. You are not punished by reality for old fear. You are simply answered according to your dominant agreement. Shift the agreement and the answer must change. The law cannot do otherwise. Just as numbers add to the same sum every time, alignment delivers to the same end every time. That is what makes the spiritual path calm. You are not rolling dice, you are keeping order. If you like a concise anchor, use this. I picture it. I feel it. I accept it. Life confirms it. Short, clear, and true. You can return to that line during the day. You can breathe it in when you catch yourself slipping into doubt or counting odds. It brings you back from chasing outcomes to keeping the pattern. The more you live this way, the less you will treat any single event as your rescue. A drawing is not your savior. A phone call is not your savior. A contract is not your savior. You already have a source, and you are learning to receive from it through many doors. When one door swings open, you are grateful. When it closes, you remain supplied. This takes the fear out of the process and leaves only the practice. See, feel, speak, receive. You can trust this because it is simple and it fits how creation works. Images become instructions. Instructions become events. If your inner image is scattered, results wobble. If your inner image is steady, results line up. None of this asks you to be perfect. It asks you to be consistent enough for order to show itself. And order wants to show itself. That is its nature. Let the closing word of this section be an easy decree you can use today. The image of my good is clear, strong, and kind. I hold it without strain. Under grace and in perfect ways, it comes into view. Say it, mean it, and walk on. From here, we move to another part of the same law, how guidance speaks when you are quiet, and how the exact steps and even exact numbers rise to meet a mind that has already said yes. Now we come to the practical side, how to choose winning numbers. This is not random picking or chasing a hunch that comes and goes. It is learning to listen to the same intelligence that shaped the inner pattern of your prosperity. Some call it divine mind. Others call it the superconscious. It is not outside you. It is the higher layer of your own awareness, the place where you are one with all knowledge. An old line says it plainly, there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty gives understanding. Through your living link with the divine, you can receive what you need to know, even details that seem beyond time and chance. The numbers that will be drawn already exist as a possibility on the unseen side. They do not appear by chaos. They appear by law working through pattern. Your part is to receive, not to force. People sometimes point to stories like Stefan Mandel, the economist who won lotteries many times with a formula. That example simply proves a simple point. When you understand law, winning stops being random. Our path is not a spreadsheet, it is alignment. You do not need advanced math to be led. You already have the better instrument, your intuition. Intuition is your inner guidance system. When it is calm and clear, it does not miss. To access this guidance, 2 moves matter. First, quiet the busy mind that calculates and argues. Second, become more receptive to the soft prompt that rises from within. Find a still moment without noise or screens. Sit comfortably. Let your breath slow down. Feel your body unclench. You are not trying to drift away. You are arriving at a steadier attention. From that steadiness, speak a simple request inside. Show me the winning numbers for the drawing I intend to play. Say it once. Do not beg. Do not press. Trust that the answer exists and that you are joined to the mind that knows. Numbers may come in different ways. Some people see them as digits flashing or written. Others sense them as a quiet knowing that settles like a fact. Sometimes the body responds first. A small lift at a certain number, a warmth, a pulse you can feel. At times, guidance comes through the world around you. A receipt, a clock, a street sign that repeats the same figures after you have asked. Your only task is to notice and receive. Write the impressions down as they arrive. Do not explain them away. Do not argue with them. The analyzing mind will try to take over and ask for proofs. Let it stand aside for now. Analysis is useful later. In the receiving phase, it is only static. You are not inventing numbers out of thin air. You are recognizing numbers that already exist in the field of possibilities. That distinction matters. One is fantasy. The other is agreement with a reality that has not yet broken the surface. If you feel strain, pause and return to ease. Strain means you are trying to push answers out of fear. Guidance works in a different temperature. It is quiet, simple, and surprisingly, matter of fact. Different practices can help you stay receptive. A short prayer that centers you. A few minutes of meditation. Writing a line in a notebook before sleep that invites clear dreams. Many people notice that insights slip in while showering, walking among trees, washing dishes, or drifting towards sleep. Anytime the thinking mind is occupied and looser, the method is flexible. What matters is your state, relaxed certainty that you will be shown, and a willingness to receive without editing. When impressions arrive, be faithful with them. Record them. Sit with them for a moment. If the same number repeats across different moments and places, treat that as confirmation rather than coincidence. If confusion appears, step back to peace. Ask again later from the same calm. The law is patient and precise. Forcing always clouds the signal. Returning to ease clears it. Use your words to help your state stay open. Speak this with trust you can feel. Divine intelligence knows the winning numbers, and through my oneness with this intelligence, I know them too. I receive this guidance clearly, confidently, and accurately. I trust the numbers that come to me through divine inspiration. Let the sentence slow your breathing and smooth your thoughts. You are not trying to bend the world. You are letting yourself be guided within an order that already exists. When you finally choose numbers from this settled place, the act itself changes. You are not gambling against impossible odds. You are taking the physical step that matches the guidance you have already received. The same shift happens anywhere in life. You stop throwing actions at problems. You move in step with the answer you have been shown. This is why results that look like luck to others feel inevitable to you. Alignment does not shout, it simply delivers. If doubt rises after you have chosen, thank your mind for trying to protect you and return to the decree that grounds you. Say again that you are one with infinite intelligence. Say that what you receive is clear. Say that you trust the clear. Doubt is a cloud that passes when you stop chasing it. Confidence is a posture you can resume by choice. The more often you practice this, the more natural it becomes. The signal grows familiar. The noise loses its power. Remember also what we have already established. The ticket is a channel, not a source. Your source is the law. If guidance leads you to play today, you play with peace. If guidance leads you to skip a drawing, you skip with the same peace. Either way, you remain supplied. This is how fear leaves the process and clarity remains. This is how you learn that being led is better than being lucky. To close this section, let an easy sentence gather it all. I am joined to the mind that knows. I listen. I receive. I move. Under grace and in perfect ways, what I have been shown comes into view. Speak it. Mean it. Then go about your day with a light step. The law has heard you. The guidance is present. And when the time comes to act, you will recognize the numbers not as guesses, but as answers. In the divine economy, timing matters. There is a right hour for every harvest, a prepared moment when conditions line up and the result arrives without strain. This is not about delay for the sake of delay. It is about order. The same law that holds planets in their orbits also governs the delivery of your good. When you honor that order, you stop pushing against time and start moving with it. An old line says it simply and well, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Your prosperity is no exception. It has a season. It has a time. Many people miss their good because they try to force outcomes on their own schedule. They demand instant proof, and when it does not show up by their clock, they call the law untrue, lose heart, and quit. Others keep tugging at the sprout, hoping it will grow faster if they worry harder. Neither approach works. Divine order is not pressured by impatience. It is served by trust. This is not passive waiting. It is active patience. You hold a clear desire, you keep your inner agreement strong, and you let the when belong to higher wisdom. That blend of firm faith and peaceful allowing is the doorway through which timely results walk in. There are patterns that hint at how timing can work. Consider the story of Joan Ginther, who won major lottery prizes 4 times over many years. The wins did not land all at once. They appeared at wide intervals that, to many observers, looked like a rhythm rather than a fluke. Whether you explain it by statistics or by alignment, the lesson you can use is the same. Results arrive in cycles. There is a season for sowing, a season for tending, and a season for reaping. When you push to harvest during the sowing season, you exhaust yourself and bruise the crop. When you honor the season you are in, the field answers you in order. How do you sense right timing in something as specific as a drawing? You do it the same way you received numbers, by quieting the mind and letting guidance speak. The mind that knows which numbers will be called also knows when to play. Timing impressions often feel simple and obvious. A certain date glows a little brighter in thought. A day keeps repeating in ordinary ways until you finally notice it. A drawing sits in your awareness with a calm pull that does not argue or beg. You may call this a knowing. It does not try to convince you. It just stands there like a fact. When you feel that, you do not need to drum up excitement. You simply agree and act. If you feel yourself getting tight about time, step back. Desperation repels. Calm certainty attracts. The moment you try to rush the law, you step out of the flow that delivers. The cure is simple. Return to what you know. Your good is established in the unseen. Your word has gone out. Your picture is steady. Your job is to stay in agreement. When the hour comes, you will know and you will move. What looks like waiting from the outside is, in truth, alignment inside. Alignment shortens the road. Anxiety lengthens it. Let your words place you back in order. Say this with a quiet, trusting tone. Divine timing governs the manifestation of my good. I trust the perfect unfolding of abundance in my life. What is mine comes to me under grace, in perfect ways, at the perfect hour for all concerned. Feel the peace that rises as you say it. This peace is not indifference. It is consent to order. It is the signal to the law that you are ready to receive in the best way, not merely the fastest way. You do not surrender the desire. You surrender the clock. You keep the picture and the decree alive while you release the pressure around dates. If guidance highlights tonight's drawing, you answer it. If guidance says not this one, you obey with the same calm. Either way, you remain supplied because your source is not the calendar. Your source is the law. This is how fear leaves the process and grace takes over the schedule. This is how outcomes that would have felt rare begin to feel normal. There is no struggle in a right time harvest. There is only ripeness and a simple picking. Gratitude speeds timing because gratitude agrees with what is already true. Give thanks now for results that are moving toward you even when you cannot see them yet. Gratitude does not make the law kinder. The law is already flawless. Gratitude keeps you from stepping out of rhythm. It steadies your attention. It softens the impatience that throws sand in the gears. If you want words you can reach for any time the clock starts shouting, use these. I release the when and keep the yes. What is mine finds me right on time. Under grace and in perfect ways, everything arrives when it serves the highest good. Speak them once, breathe, and carry on. You do not need to keep checking the soil every minute to know the seed is alive. You water it, you bless it, and you let it do what seeds do. The same mercy holds in money, work, health, and help. Life answers order with order. People who stand outside this practice will call timely outcomes luck. Those who have walked with divine order know better. Timing is a form of guidance, just as numbers are. When you allow it to lead, you save yourself from waste and from needless risk. You also learn a deeper lesson that outlasts any single win. You learn that you can trust the current that carries you. You learn that the universe is not late, not early, but exact. Hold this section with one more steady decree and let it settle into the body as well as the mind. The clock of my good is set by divine mind. I am never behind and never ahead. What belongs to me appears at the right hour, and I recognize it with peace. Say it and feel your shoulders loosen. From that ease, you can hear the next instruction, which is how to speak the word that sets your whole being in agreement with supply. That word is a decree, stronger than a wish, firmer than a hope, and it is what we take up next. We now take up one of the strongest tools you can use to make results consistent, the prosperity decree. A decree is not a wish and not a pep talk. It is a clear statement of truth spoken as present reality. Where an affirmation often points toward a hoped-for state, a decree declares that state as already established. The difference may sound small, but it changes everything. The decree calls your whole being into agreement now. It gathers your thought, your feeling, your posture, and even your breath into one line so the law can answer without mixed signals. The old promise says it plainly, "Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." This is not about shouting or trying to impress a distant power. It is about speaking from your true identity and letting the law, which is exact, do what it always does when you give it a clear command. Your words carry creative force when you speak them with quiet certainty. They shape the inner pattern that the outer world must mirror in due order. To make a decree effective, keep it in the now. Do not say, "I will be," or "it is coming someday." Say, "I am," and it is. Creation happens in the present. A second point is tone. You do not bargain or plead. You speak as one who belongs, as an heir claiming an inheritance. Then you repeat it until it sinks below the surface of the mind and becomes the natural setting of your inner life. Consistency matters because repetition rewrites old reflexes, and you add feeling, not drama, not strain, but calm conviction and gratitude. Feeling gives the decree its pull. It is the warmth that draws form to pattern. There's also power in moving your decree from private thought to shared action. I invite you to write one clear line in the comments so your word is anchored in a visible way. I am a natural winner, aligned with infinite abundance. Typing that line is not for show. It is a simple act that turns the key. Thought becomes word becomes action, and action signals your deeper mind that you mean what you say. When others see and echo the line, the sense of permission grows. The field of agreement around abundance gets stronger for everyone who is ready to receive. Let us put a complete decree in your mouth, one designed for steady, repeatable results with this channel of supply. Speak it daily, out loud if you can, with a steady voice and a ready heart. I am now aligned with the perfect pattern of lottery abundance. The exact amounts appointed for me flow to me with right timing and precise order. I recognize and follow clear inner guidance to the numbers and drawings that belong to my prosperity plan. My winnings reach me easily, joyfully, and consistently under grace and in perfect ways. I receive this good with gratitude, knowing it serves the highest good of all concerned. This is the truth of my being, and I accept it as my living reality now. As you speak these words, let pictures rise that fit them. See what it looks like when money arrives. Hear what you would hear. Notice what you would do first to bless your life and lift others. Let the feeling of relief and thankfulness fill the body, and then let it settle into a quiet, normal ease. Normal is important. When the fulfilled state feels normal inside, the outside has clear instructions to match it. Saying the decree once can spark a shift, but a habit of decree produces a stable signal. You are not trying to make something happen by force. You are keeping the inner pattern clean so the outer can answer it without interference. If an old voice in your head argues that this is pretend, smile at it and continue. The old voice belongs to an earlier agreement with lack. You are replacing that agreement with a truer one. Each time you speak, the new agreement takes deeper root. You will notice that the decree also teaches you how to act. It points you back to guidance about numbers and timing. It reminds you that your good comes under grace and in perfect ways. It sets the condition that your prosperity serves the highest good, which removes fear and guilt from the process. It frames the win as part of a larger plan of right supply rather than a rare break that might vanish. When action grows out of this frame, you do not wobble. You move when led, and you rest when not led. This steadiness is itself a form of wealth. Spoken from this place, the whole experience changes. You are not gambling to escape pressure. You are demonstrating law. The same shift happens in every area of life. You stop trying to pry open doors with effort alone and begin to speak to doors with authority. Then walk through the ones that open. The world may call results like these luck. You will recognize them as alignment, answering a clear word. If you feel tired or doubtful, return to short, living words you can believe in the moment you say them. I am supplied. I am guided. I am grateful. Then return to the full decree when your breath is slower and your heart is settled. There is no scolding in this practice. Only return. Order is kind and it is patient. Give yourself a simple ritual window each day. 2 or 3 minutes is enough. Stand or sit upright. Place your feet so you feel the ground. Breathe once and let your shoulders drop. Speak the decree slowly, like you mean it. Pause for a few seconds and let the feeling catch up with the words. See one clear image that fits the decree. Say thank you. Then go on with your day without checking the soil every few minutes to see if the seeds sprouted. Seeds sprout best when you water and leave them to their work. You will see why Florence draws a firm line between hoping and decreeing. Hope looks forward. A decree stands here. Hope waits to be convinced. A decree convinces the inner life first and lets results follow. Hope often rises and falls with appearances. A decree is steady because it is anchored in identity and law. From that steadiness, outcomes that once felt impossible begin to feel ordinary. And ordinary is where you want your good to live. Honor this tool. Use it cleanly and kindly. Speak it for yourself and let it overflow in acts that help others. The law multiplies what it can trust to flow. As you learn to speak, receive, and circulate, the channel widens. The heart stays light, and the winds of money, yes, but also of clarity, help, and timing arrive in the way they should, simply, safely, and on time. A truth many overlook on the road to steady wins is simple. Money is meant to move. Abundance is a current. It does not collect in a corner and stay alive. It flows through you, and because it flows through you, more can reach you. When you try to hold it tight from fear, the stream narrows. When you let it move with wisdom and joy, the stream widens. This is the law of circulation. It is not a moral lecture. It is the way supply behaves, the same way a river keeps itself clean by moving. Give and it shall be given unto you is not a slogan for good behavior. It describes a cause and effect that does not fail. What goes out returns multiplied, not as a prize for being nice, but because flow produces flow. The sun gives light. Plants give oxygen. We give carbon dioxide back. The balance holds because each part plays its part. In the same way, your finances breathe in and out. If you block the out-breath from fear, the in-breath becomes shallow. When you let both happen freely, the whole system grows stronger. This is where many people trip when they think about lottery prosperity. They focus only on receiving. They stare at the result and ignore the current that carries it. They clutch at every coin, call it being careful, and wonder why nothing larger finds them. You cannot hoard pennies and expect millions to feel at home with you. The vibration does not match. You do not have to give recklessly to change this. You establish a clear, kind pattern of circulation at the level you are in, and that pattern makes you a larger channel for more. There is a story that shows this law in plain clothes. In 2002, Andrew Jack Whitaker won a Powerball jackpot of $315 million. It was the largest prize ever won by a single ticket at that time. What many forget is that he was already wealthy before the drawing, reportedly worth many millions from his business. He also had a habit of giving. He set up a foundation for children and poured money into causes even before the win, and he continued that generosity afterward. His life had bright days and hard days in the years that followed, but the point for us is clear. The stream was moving through him before it grew into a river. The pattern of circulation was part of his life long before the headline. Take the lesson without the drama. Wealth tends to meet those who will let it work. If everything you receive hits a wall of fear, the law has no space to multiply. If what you receive finds doors and hands and useful paths, the law gladly sends more. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are training your life to be fluent in flow. How do you apply this without anxiety or show? You look at your present level and you let money move in ways that feel sane, kind, and aligned. If a fixed percentage keeps you steady, use it. If you prefer to listen for nudges and meet specific needs when they arise, do that. Give where your heart actually warms, because warmth keeps the current open. Grudging gifts made to check a box keep the signal of lack humming underneath. Joyful giving, even when the amount is modest, changes that signal. The amount matters less than the spirit in which it moves. The law listens to spirit. Circulation is not only charity, it is also investment, support, collaboration, and simple decency. It is paying invoices on time. It is treating money as a servant you send to good work, not a guard you chain to a vault. It is picking one or two places where your support clearly builds life and letting yourself feel the rightness of that choice. As your channel widens, your forms of giving can widen with it. Start with clean, light steps that you can repeat without strain. The point is consistency, not spectacle. Let your words help you live this law with ease. Say this slowly until it lands. I am a channel for divine abundance. Money flows to me and through me with perfect ease. As I give joyfully and receive gratefully, the circle of my prosperity expands without limit. Notice the relief that rises when you say it. You are not trying to qualify for goodness. You are accepting your place in a living system that works best when you cooperate with its nature. When you buy a ticket from this consciousness, you do not do it to escape fear. You do it as one more doorway through which supply may walk. The act is simple, almost ordinary because the pressure is gone. Your source is not a drawing. Your source is the law. The drawing is a channel that you honor when guidance nudges you. If it is not the right day, you do not feel deprived. If it is the right day, you act with the same calm. Either way, circulation continues. You give, you receive, you give again. The current strengthens. You will notice that gratitude fits naturally with circulation. When you thank your supply, you keep the doors open. Gratitude says, I recognize the flow and I welcome more of the same. It is the opposite of clinging. It is the open hand that can both receive and pass on. When gratitude and giving work together, money stops feeling heavy and begins to act like what it is, a tool, not a judge. None of this asks you to risk what you cannot afford or to solve the whole world in a day. It asks you to refuse the story of fear that says, if I let anything go, nothing will come back. The law says otherwise, and life will prove it to you in small ways first. The cup you fill for another is often the cup you find in your own hand when you are thirsty. The check you send to clear someone else's block is the email that arrives to clear yours. This is not magic thinking. It is the ordinary symmetry of a world that likes balance. There will be moments when the old reflex tightens your hand. Smile at it. Loosen the fingers a little and let some part of the stream pass through. You will feel your own breath return. You will feel less like a bank vault and more like a living person. That feeling is worth more than any single win, because it makes you ready for many wins that can come and go without trapping you. Keep one more decree close to make this easy to practice. When numbers, timing, and action come together, money serves my life and the lives I touch. I send it with wisdom. I receive it with peace. The river of my abundance runs strong and clear under grace and in perfect ways. Let that line set your posture. A clear river does not argue with stones. It slides around them and keeps going. Your prosperity will do the same as you keep the current alive. From this place, the larger plan becomes simple. You visualize with feeling. You speak the decree that sets your inner order. You listen for numbers and timing. You let money move. You give thanks before and after. You stay steady. Each piece supports the others, and together they turn a once-in-a-while hope into a normal way of living. Now we can weave the pieces into a single practical rhythm you can follow day by day so that demonstration replaces chance and calm replaces strain. Now we gather everything into one living rhythm you can carry each day. You already know who you are in this work, not a beggar, but an heir, not a gambler, but a demonstrator of law. You have met the pattern. You have learned to picture. You have felt guidance for numbers and timing. You have spoken a clean decree and you have kept money moving so the river stays clear. What remains is to let these pieces move together as one calm habit until results feel ordinary. Begin by taking a quiet minute to return to identity. Say inside, gently but firmly, that abundance is your birthright and that law, not chance, governs your path. Let your breath slow. See the finished scene of your good, not as an escape from today, but as today's inner setting. Let gratitude rise first before anything happens on the outside. Gratitude is agreement. Agreement is the signal the law reads. When your image is steady, speak the decree you have chosen. Speak it like a bell. Clear, present, and without strain. You are not trying to push the world. You are aligning yourself with the order that is already true. If you feel wobble, shorten the words until you can mean them, then lengthen them again when your balance returns. Meaning feeds power more than length ever will. From that settled state, ask once for guidance. Numbers if numbers are needed, a day if a day is needed, then leave space. Answers like to arrive in space. They show up as a simple certainty, a repeated sign, a quiet pull. You do not chase them. You notice them. When they land, you write them down and act at the right hour. If it is not the hour, you keep the picture and the peace. Because your source is the law and the law is never late. Let your money breathe while you walk this path. Give from a warm place and receive with an open hand. Pay what is yours to pay. Support what clearly builds life. Treat every amount as a messenger you can send to do good work and return with friends. When fear tightens the hand, loosen it a little and let the current pass. You will feel your strength come back with your breath. Hold your attention kindly. Do not dig up the seed to check its roots. Water it with thanks. Sunshine it with simple joy. If doubt brushes by, do not wrestle with it. Bless it and let it move on. Return to a short, living line you can believe right now. I am supplied. I am guided. I am grateful. Then go on with your day because life loves a person who can receive and then carry on in peace. When you take up a ticket, do it the way you take communion, with awareness, not tension. It is a small outward step that matches a larger inner agreement. Whether the form of your good walks through this door or another, your posture does not change. Quiet certainty before, quiet gratitude after. This steadiness is itself a win that makes room for many wins. Let a final, simple seal close this section and open your next day. I am perfectly aligned with right supply. What belongs to me finds me in right order, right amount, and right time, under grace and in perfect ways. It is so. Say it once more, slower. Feel your shoulders drop as if someone removed a weight you didn't know you were carrying. That ease is the sign you are back in the current. If these words settled something in you, let the small light under this video know. It helps the message reach the next person who is ready to trade worry for order. Send this teaching to one friend you love and tell them why it mattered to you. And if you want to keep practicing this law together, word by word, day by day, come along with us here so you don't miss the next decree. We will keep the river moving, we will keep the picture clear, and we will meet our good on time.